And we're back. Oh no, what are you eating, ugly boy? In the Scheel-Mann box. Meaning the seats are out. Chrissy boy has been a busy boy indeed. A bit of a headache this morning.
Yeah, installing these seats is proving a challenge. Anyway.
Remember all the other challenges that you've tackled. This is going to be nothing.
Oh yeah, I'll get there.
Just not a different part yet. But it's going to look so schmeck. I'm so impressed with the job that Chris did with the seats in the middle section at the rest for Oakley. It just looks so good, and it's actually matching a little bit of Scheel-Mann seats.
It looks. It's the color choice is good. I like it.
It is amazing. So yeah, very stoked with that. Can't wait to show you a bit more of what the cab looks like now. But yeah, we're back with Oakley today. We've got a special mission. We'll take you to IKEA with us. We've got a very important mission. Do you like your new house? Whoa! Are you gonna put the angle here? Yeah, that's it.
Are you going the angle for Dada? Inspecting the work.
Yeah, nice and level.
Oh. Buddy! You use that head like a battering ram. Shake, shake, shake! Shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake.
We're not looking at this one, we're looking at that. Nine. Oh, this one is heavier. Okay. We're gonna need a trolley, okay, boy? Can you help me carry one? Ta-da! Finally being able to test the foam that I bought at IKEA. So, basically my mission this morning with Oakley was to find some foam for our bench seats. So we went to IKEA, which is the easy solution, just a standard mattress, and we're basically gonna cut it ourselves, and Chris will do the same upholstery job they did for the cushion for the bench seat. Because I remember with Bowser or Unimog, finding foam and getting it custom to shape was actually much harder than it should have been. I feel like 10 centimeters almost too thick, no?
I don't think
it doesn't shrink that much, maybe because you're heavier than me. So I can't even imagine here in Sweden how much harder it would be, because everything is just harder to find here. So we went through the easy route. We went with the 8mm mattress topper, which seems quite thin, but I don't know, it feels quite good. I couldn't test it in the shop, so I had to buy it, and here we are. So time will tell, but in the mug we've got 8 centimeters as well bottom cushion and 10 centimeter backing, I believe, or maybe the other way around, and we're happy with it. So hopefully I didn't do too bad. What about you, Chris? You having fun?
I wouldn't call it fun. Man, installing seat bases is a challenge. I've been all day and all I've done is drilled like 5 holes. It's taking me the whole day. That's okay. Happy Saturday morning, guys. It is actually sunny. Weirdly, the spring here near Malmo was really good. But then since kind of summer's come around, it just seems to rain and then a little bit of sun, then rain and then a little bit of sun all day long, every day. So the weather is a bit strange here in summer, but sunny for now, and then it'll be cold and raining probably within the hour. So I spent the majority of yesterday doing this. Oh man, she looks good. So I am super happy with the fitment. It is as far back as I can possibly get it. The runners work really well. It's nice and secure. I haven't properly secured it yet because I'll need to pull the seat out for the carpeting, which will probably happen next week. So these are the Traveller LR by Scheel-Mann. And Scheel-Mann is by a company called Grenier, German company. So these are made in Germany. And they like sort of specialize in chairs in like hospital situations and sort of the medical industry. Really good brands. And they very generously provided the seats for us, which we are very happy with. We chose the color, we chose the options on them. So they are heated seats. So it's called the Traveller, and we went with the LR spec, which is the Land Rover spec. So what that actually means is that this seat comes up. So you can access, normally I think you've got like a box, I don't know if it's the battery box or something like that under a Defender. The reason we went with that one is not for the under-seat storage, but the dimensions of it were slightly shorter than the standard Scheel-Mann Traveller. And that meant that we had, you know, just the tiniest bit more leg room in the cockpit of the Volvo. So the arms and the side bolsters we got in like a brown leatherette. And then for the main part, this is called Road, or sometimes on their website it's called Rodeo or Rodeo. So we're really happy with this. And we got 2 armrests, because I had figured originally that there was a little bit more room in the driver's side, so we sort of asked for 2. But there's definitely not enough room on the arm on both sides closest to the door, so we are just going to have the armrest on the inside. So I've already installed one on Angie's seat, and there'll be one on the seat as well. Now you can change, with this knob here, you can change the lumbar, so that sort of pushes this out or in. And then there is the other knob on this side, which sort of raises that lump depending on your height. So these are actually much more comfortable than our Isri seats in Bowser. Even though they're an air ride seat, the ergonomics of the seat itself is very basic. These already, just from me sitting in Angie's seat for about 5 minutes yesterday, feels more comfortable through the back area, because you definitely want that like lumbar hump for long distance driving. So I'm really excited to put some miles into these seats. Now the reason it took me all day yesterday was, I may have described in a previous video, but the 2 bolts here, 1, 2, closest to the transmission tunnel, are completely captive. So there's this like thin sheet metal here, and then behind that is like a piece of welded in square tube where the original holes for the bolts went into, and then they had welded nuts on during the construction of the vehicle and then put the square tube in afterwards. So really difficult place to get to. So I was luckily able to move the seat just ever so slightly towards the transmission tunnel area. And that gave me just the slightest amount of room to be able to get in from in this engine cover and underneath. I was almost having to measure with my fingers, like Mr. Bean style. Because it's impossible to get a tape measure in there. You can't really get to it from up underneath the truck because all of the brake assembly and the air hoses and things like that are in the way. So it's just a really challenging area. So I was measuring things like 5-6 times before actually drilling holes. And I also spoke to my friend Darren again in South Australia, the engineer, and talked to him a little bit further about the safest way to have these seats secured and also enable it to be as low as possible. The whole situation would have been easier if I could have lifted the seat, but we really want maximum headroom. So the situation we've gone with instead are these plates here. Hopefully you can see them. So you got 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, which are kind of captive, you can't see. So they are providing the strength. So I have got a hex head bolt that goes down through the seat channel. I have drilled these 2 holes out just a tiny bit more to fit. It's kind of like an M10. That goes through, and it is so snug, this would be the other way around, that locks the hex head in. So there's zero movement, and that enables me to be able to lift the seat in with the bolts already sticking out from underneath and basically drop it into the position of the holes that I drill. So with these runners, the seat can only go so far back because it runs into this cornered part of the transmission tunnel. And the problem with that is if you can't push the seat back enough, you can't expose the runner enough to be able to get something on, for instance, like an Allen head style cap screw. So that's where the hex head captivated bolt saved my butt really yesterday, finding those. And they are the original 8.8 spec bolts from the original seat positions, so we know they're nice and strong. So first up, I'm going to cut some more of those plates so that I can get the noise out of the way, because Oakley will have his morning nap soon, mid-morning nap, and then I can have them painted and ready to go. 50mm wide by 75mm long by 3mm thick, and that is this 50mm flat bar. And I know that's nice strong steel. I've rounded the edges off per Darren's instructions, because during an accident, pointed edges can actually cut through sheet metal, so the rounding of them makes those nice and safe. Oh, the other thing to bear in mind, the life-saving part of the vehicle in an accident is the seat belt, not the seat, right? So the seat belts are very strong. They're in the original positions on this. I guess you could call this the A-pillar, I don't know. But they're nice and strong. So during an accident, they're actually what's saving you, not the seat itself, but I still want that seat really, really secure. Okay, I'll get stuck in and get some work underway. I want to have that finished today. And then tomorrow, I want to be cutting this up and doing some woodworking on my makeshift bench. And I reckon maybe by the end of this weekend, I will have the entire vehicle upholstered. Yes. Okay, first hole positions marked. We've got one position here and one here. These are the important ones because there's quite a lot going on underneath here, so I can't get it wrong. Yeah, like that. This on the inside, so kind of like that. These are the original holes here, so I'm using those as my like square markers, so I'm marking lines between the two, and then from there I'm calculating my measurements. Because it's hard to do it from there and hard to do it from anywhere else. Ruler and tape measure. I don't have many other tricks up my sleeve other than the basics. So I'm going to drill the first hole, make sure it's kind of in the right spot, and then go from there. Okay, holes are drilled, and I have used a gasket scraper and the hammer to remove the dynamat where the rails are, so that they're as secure to the steel as possible. Now what I need to do is just ever so slightly widen the holes in those tracks, screw them to the bottom of the seat base with the adjustment rail as well, and then I can do first test fit. So they provided this hardware for the seat base to the bottom of the seat, which was good. Some 8.8 cap screws. Oh, there he is! Inspecting the living room. What you doing? You just exploring? Oh, that'll be where you sit when we drive. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Oh, good walking. Yeah. Good job. Back again. Dad is going to build this tomorrow. That'll be one of your beds. So when you're not sleeping upstairs with us, you can sleep downstairs. Yeah. You got a bit of room to grow for it. Be a nice big bed for you. Okay, so seat adjuster is on. So if I push this lever down, it opens up this kind of cam thing and enables me to slide this back and forward. So those are bolted to the chair, and then I've just slightly expanded these two main holes here on either side. So now it is time to slide the bolts in. So the bolt goes in like so, and then it's completely captive like that. And then it's as simple as dropping the seat into the holes that I've drilled and fastening from the bottom, if I've done it right. I think we're in. Yes, we are. Okay. Yeah, we're in. Bolts are in. Yes! What you watching, Oaks? You watching steam trains? And she's doing some work. Just made us a nice lunch. And you know how I said it would be raining within like the hour? And it'll probably be sunny again this afternoon. Yeah, the summer weather here is very strange. So just priming those two plates that I've made. Those are some stainless hinges for the bench seat slash bed. I just thought I'd explain, which I didn't before. So I've used this, which is kind of like a space plate, I guess, that came with my seat belts. I had to use that on one corner of the passenger side of the seat base. Basically, when the bolt came down, there was no room next to it at all due to a bit of box section for me to fit something like this, and there was another thing on the side here. So I drilled an extra hole through the floor of the wheel well and put another bolt in. So that's kind of secured it with two bolts and this plate instead. And I think that'll work really well. It's 3mm thick and already kind of the right shape for me to use. So that's one solution that I found for that one corner. I think here it's called cloth tape. I don't know what you would call it in your side of the world. And I've always had a soft spot for using it. I prefer it to duct tape when I can. This is not a high quality one. It's starting to come up off of that. I've basically taped all the seams up so that when carpet goes over, they're not going to shift at all. Anyway, so I'm gaffer taping just over that position for the rails. I'll mark the holes soon. And I'm basically taping over the original mounting seat holes. I'm not going to actually fill them with any kind of putty or resin or anything like that, just in case I ever had to go back to the original seats, you know, just in case for legality reasons or something like that. I don't know why, because this is much stronger than the original. But yeah, I'll keep those, so I won't cover them up, but a bit of gaffer tape. So now I just need to lay back the thicker stuff over the top, and I'll cut the strips for the rails. Okay, insulation is back in. That's all nice and solid. Okay, it's in. So bolted up from underneath. All right, I haven't sat in it yet. So what I'm hoping is that I have enough leg room. I changed into my track pants so I don't get the seat dirty. Oh man. I'm not just saying this, there's so much more room than I thought there was going to be. Wow. Oh, I'm stoked. I've got more room than in Bowser. Oh, yes! Because there's my armrest for this side, here's my armrest for this side, so I definitely don't need an armrest here. That's a total waste. Oh, that's so good. That's actually an enjoyable drive. This is so much better than I thought it was going to be. There was so much umming and ahhing from Ange and I about whether we could fit these seats in here. Because it looks like a lot of Volvo owners have never changed their seats, and the ones that have either struggled with size or they put in slightly smaller seats than these. I'm genuinely stoked. I've actually got a heap of room. I mean, for me, this is a heap of room. For most people in modern vehicles, this is really terrible, but Bowser, for such a large truck, is so cramped. And this is just tons of legroom. Now, what I might actually be able to do here is put the rubber bolster back in. It's like acts as, I guess, a knee bash protector, as well as covering up the brake master cylinder and some cabling here. I assumed I would have to get rid of it. So this will actually be a bit better when I can put that back in. So I think where the confusion was I must have been taking my measurements from the passenger side always, because that was the one that I had removed the seat from so I could actually properly measure. But what I didn't realize is that this part of the transmission housing actually comes this way further than this side, which enables the driver's seat to go back further. So I'm going to have a hard time fitting in the passenger side, but all that means is that I'm always going to be driving, which I don't mind anyway. Cool! So this Land Rover edition means you can pull out this pin, pop, and then this goes up, pull, and you can get underneath. Now for me, the steering wheel is in the way. Of course, that side doesn't matter so much, so it's not going to be hugely practical under here anyway. One bonus is it's going to mean that I can wire the seater heater up much easier. Maybe on Ange's side we can have some maps under there, or any important documents that we're trying to hide from the police we can put down in here. You know, manifestos, things like that, comings and goings, when the boats are coming in, and all that sort of stuff that Ange and I are into. That's why we're multi-millionaires. That can just be under the seat. It'll be great. What does the boss think of it? What do you reckon, buddy? Don't fall in the engine hatch, oh. Good boy. Is Oakley driving? Is Oakley driving? Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Are you driving?
Jump in, mama. Oakley's driving. He's got an interesting driving stance, but whatever works, buddy.
I think he's ready to go. He's going to drive us around the continent, huh?
Good man. So here is the wiring for the heater control. So you've got all the cabling here. We've got a 12-volt relay. It's already fused. And then this is the switch. So you've got a lower setting and then a higher setting. So it's a two-stage switch. So the wires... well, the plugs rather, where are they? Here. They plug in just down here under the seat. So I'll run that part there. I'll probably have the relay attached down here out of sight as well. I have already done the passenger side. That was pretty easy. So for now, I've just got the heater control just underneath the armrest there. I've also got a pretty nifty little tricked out switching unit, also from Auxbeam, which I might even wire up next week. So this is the 8-gang switch panel. This is the main switch panel that would be up on the dashboard, and then you've got a million different little stickers that you can put over each switch. One of the really good things about it is it's got like 3 different modes of switching. So you can have like normal switch on, off, You can have one which has like 3 different levels to it, or you can have like a momentary switch, which is like a toggle. So that's quite cool. And then you can also control it with your phone, and you can change the lighting, full RGB modes on the backlighting, I guess you could call it. Now this is the actual switch assembly here. It's already got all your fusing. It's got your 2 connection points for your battery cables. And then you've got your amperage for each thing that you want to plug in. So you've got your most powerful, which is 30 amp, then 2 20 amps, 2 10 amps, and 2 5 amps. So it can handle quite a lot of current, which is nice. Then you've got some spare fuses up here with a little clip to grab them out. This is a little mount for the switch display, or you can flush mount it somewhere like your dashboard. And these are the brackets here for the switch assembly. Plus they give you pretty much everything you need to wire it all up, including a 60 amp breaker. So yeah, really cool little unit. I've been looking forward to installing this for a while. A few things that come to mind is I could potentially wire up, because I've got 8, so I could potentially wire 2 of those to be the heated seats, and I can have that so there's 2 different settings for each one, so very hot and hot. Then I've got auxiliary lights as well, so potentially like say a roof light, some pod lights on the sides, and then possibly we'll have the fan going in, the electric fan, maybe that could be on a switch. Yeah, I've got lots of options here, which I really like. I don't want too much going on the dashboard, whereas just that I'm very happy with. That looks a bit better than the one I built in Bowser. Even though Bowser's one's pretty functional, this is going to have a little bit more going on for it. So I will show you where I end up installing this. I think I've found a spot for it already, and then I'll work out some sort of cabling route which doesn't involve me cutting too many holes.
Today was one of these days where I've had to have a nap with Oakley. Now, I'm not a napper normally, but since having Oakley, I've definitely needed some extra rest. He's a terrible sleeper at night. He's teething at the moment. This morning woke up at 4 AM. So a nap was definitely on the cards today, and I feel much better now. Now I'm a light sleeper, so I don't do well with very bright or noisy environment to sleep, and unfortunately the motorhome, pretty much all the blinds are broken, so it is really bright during the day. So far I've had to use the sleeping mask we got in the plane from Australia to come to Sweden, which is definitely not ideal. So I was absolutely stoked when Mentasleep reached out to me to try the Mentasleep mask sound, which is definitely a much needed upgrade. So not only is it much more comfortable with a great design that covers both the eyes and the ears at the same time, it's also easily adjustable with a strap at the back. It's also 100% blackout, and thanks to this little C-shaped eye cup that are removable, it's got 0 eye pressure, so that's really good if you're a side sleeper like me. But by far, my favorite feature on this sleeping mask is the razor thin headphones that are Bluetooth. It's got 20 hours of battery life, it is USB rechargeable, and you can't feel them at all. I was actually shocked how good that was. So for me, that's going to be such a game changer, especially in airplanes, because I cannot sleep without a mask and music in the plane. So I'm looking forward to our next flight, even though we may not fly anytime soon. So if you are a light sleeper like me, I definitely recommend you check out Mentasleep website. I'll put the link in the description below, and as well, feel free to use our discount code if you like to grab one. Alright, back to the workshop with Chris.
It's like we got a little 2-stroke. We're flat out of the 2-stroke. The titties start ripping! Happy Tuesday morning. I am beginning the job that, this is just one of those jobs where you don't really want to do it, but you really want to see the finished results. You just got to do it anyway. So I'm going to have a crack today at carpeting the whole cab. Seats are out, so it's high time I get stuck into doing this. It just arrived yesterday, so very happy with it. It's like a stretch carpet. So it's very automotive specific, nice and thin. You can kind of pull it to shape to a degree. Went with like a grey anthracite colour because we don't want the carpet to be a feature. So we don't want it to be brown, or I was even thinking of like a wheat colour, but to be honest, we want it to just blend in as much as possible. And that'll bring more attention to the rest of the truck, things like the seats, stuff like that. So carpet, in my opinion, should never stand out. It should just be a thing that you don't even notice. So if I do my job right today, that'll be that'll be what this is like by the end of it. Now I'm making things more difficult than they need to be. I am going to try and do this, pretty much this entire area in one piece. So I've got a little bit of experience with the carpet from doing Bowser. So my first port of call was setting everything to the back. This has been the main area that needs to have the most attention. And then I marked my first hole, which would have been, of course, the brake, so the handbrake. So I cut a little hole, and then I pulled all this back and pushed it through the hole to here and then laid it back. So that's my marker position now. Now everything else revolves around that one marker position. And I had to do it that way because if I had glued it all down here first, then there would be no way for me to actually run the carpet through this hole. Hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense. The next piece is the choke, but because that is a straight up and down kind of hole here, I can just cut a hole and just push it through. Whereas of course you can't do that with this. I would have had to have pulled the whole lever off. And I'm just using batteries as my weights when I don't want things to shift too much. So I'm not going to film too much of this because it's a bit dark on this end of the workshop and it's just not going to be that enjoyable. So maybe one thing I did yesterday as well is glued these, I think they're 25mm or 30, I think they're 25mm because they're the cheapest, by 2mm aluminium strips, very light, still quite flexible, just to add a little bit of backbone to these cushions, which I'm very happy with. I'll show you those when they're in properly. And then this is Oakley's bed, like so. And now I'm devising another scheme where, sorry, again, quite dark in here on the GoPro especially. I think now I'm going to hinge it somewhere so it lifts up this way or lifts up that way and has access to storage rather than having access from the other side. Hey. Done. So quite a late night last night. I think I worked till about 9:30 finishing this off, and then just did the last little finishing touches this morning. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how it's come out. The only area that's a bit random is up in here with this round gear shift lever. Now I'm not going to make it too clean here because at the end of the day I want to be removing this and putting a square like Mercedes automatic shifter in. So I'm just going to kind of leave that for now a bit unfinished, which is okay. But I'm ready to put the seats back in. The job's really worth it if you own one of these old trucks. Like, I think, yeah, I'm happy with the job. It's definitely better than the vinyl. It's just not a fun job to do, or at least I didn't find it very fun. So we got some 2mm thickness aluminium strips. I think this one is 25mm, this one is 20mm wide. And I just bent them to shape, and they have created my kind of way of keeping the carpet together and also joining the seams. I didn't successfully manage to actually do the whole thing in one go. This area, there's too much of an angle to be able to do that. So I end up, this is one piece, hence the strap here. And this is a piece in the wheel well each side as well. Other than that, it's one piece. So yeah, pretty happy with it. And then we got some rubber from Belterma, just some cheap like boot rubber, and that's gone here quite nicely. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed. I think as soon as the seats are back in, you're not going to be able to really tell that the carpet is there too much, I'm hoping. There's a woman in the back for a change.
Oh.
What?
I'm with a baby bit now.
Yeah, but he is asleep. So Ange, what are you doing?
I'm doing some taping of the layout. That's something that we had done quite on the early stage of Bowser at the back of the camper to visualize the space better. I personally found it very useful.
In this area, this is where the bunk bed would be. At first, I guess, when the child is a baby or quite young, would fit nicely in that area. And then when the child grows, we're thinking having here a little platform on a hinge that can kind of like connect with the other side, and the mattress can just extend. So roughly we've got here, I think that was 1.7 meters. So it's even longer than this. So if I lie down here, I can still fit really nicely.
Because it's very hard to picture, especially a lot of people asking, yes, we're going to cut the roof, they're going to be popped up, we're not going to be cramped like that, but it's making it much harder to visualize. So the appliances and things that we already have, I'm kind of like measuring to see where it fits, and now it's Tetris game and see what we can fit. At the moment we're working on the water tanks, which is proving difficult.
Yeah, the water tanks, we don't want to get them custom made. We want to buy something that's already ready made for a number of reasons. Just poly tanks, polyplastic tanks. But yeah, the space is quite difficult in order to keep the weight down low and not take up too much room. Your first tool. You ready? Wow. Wow, it's Oakley's hammer. Oh, you're so strong. Wow, Oakley's hammer. Yeah. What do you think, buddy? Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Maybe I'll make this a thing when Oakley gets a new tool. It's nice to have the Volvo out in the sun again for a change. Very, very, very happy with these aftermarket orthopedic seats from Scheel-Mann. They are just so comfy to sit in, cannot wait to put some serious miles on it. So I've now got the heater controls wired up. So they have been wired to the Auxbeam switch panel. So they go in here, and then here is the switch here. So we've got driver and passenger. And then when I click that, both of them go to the lower heat setting, and then to select the higher heat setting, I've got the switch just on the back of the seat. I probably would never have it on super hot. It's just not really my style with the heated seat, but Ange is a big fan of a warm bum, so she'll probably have it on the hotter setting. Looking forward to wiring up some more things though. Super easy. I just ran the main cable to this screen from under through the engine bay. So that is all good. Very, very, very chuffed with the carpeting as well. And just overall, it looks like a whole different truck from when I started. We'll want to change these lights soon. So they were just some kind of broken interior dome lights. I'll put these LED ones in because I had them lying around. They're just USB powered, but they look pretty terrible. So I will find some sort of interior LED light for both sides of there to put in. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I don't know what next week has in store for us. We may, even if we're lucky, fingers crossed, be able to head up to Gothenburg and pick up our wheels, which have been modified and worked on for quite some time now, so very happy about that. And I also need to chop out the rear springs, put the 4-leafs on, and start putting on the new shock absorbers, which I'm really looking forward to. So stay tuned for next week. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching.